Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Yeah, on the daily chart, the situation is pretty much unchanged. Just want to give you an idea of the bigger picture again before we dive into the smaller degree wave count. Because to be honest, for the last, well, 1 week, yeah, for the last week or so, a few more days than that, but maybe for the last 8-9 days, the market literally has just been moving sideways. We see a little bit of volatility, which is good, so it's not completely boring, but the market hasn't really made any significant progress. We're working our way through this current correction that we've been talking about already last Monday. And that's absolutely okay. You know, it's sort of end of the year. Oftentimes we see a little bit of sideways action towards the end of the year. So it's not anything concerning. It's not unusual. And to be fair, we have been expecting this wave 4 to play out. Obviously, after a third wave, which this one was here, obviously this rally into the so far December highs was expected to be a third wave, with a wave 4 obviously expected to happen afterwards. And wave 4s are oftentimes quite boring. Yeah, they are quite slow, typically sideways oriented. And wave 4s often they either usually represent triangle patterns or sideways corrections like a flat structure. Now, they are nice textbook patterns, but in reality, these corrective structures sometimes are a mix of two as well. So obviously, when you are experienced in Elliott Wave, or when you know the basic patterns like zigzag structures, flat structures, they are, in theory, you can distinguish them nicely from each other. But in practice, it's a bit of a mix, and it's a bit messy. So obviously, on the one end of the spectrum, you have a nicely distinguishable zigzag. On the other hand, a perfect flat structure. But the reality is, you have a whole array of patterns in between. Most important is that we can recognize that it is a corrective pattern. That tells us a lot about the structured strategy that should be used. Now, also, the other thing that is important to understand is, where does the support sit? In this current scenario, we have a bullish scenario that's still unfolding. The support is at $34,070. That's very important to understand, because we know that below that level, we have to change our assumption. At the moment, I'm tracking two scenarios. In one scenario, which is currently the primary scenario, we are watching for higher prices in this white wave structure. I'm watching for a 1-2, 1-2 setup. Well, that completed. Now we are basically in this third wave. That should take us to ideally 40K plus. Not 40, 50K plus. We should then get at some point a wave 4, shallow pullback, wave 5 of 3, another 4, and another 5. Maybe there's another 4 or 5 afterwards. But basically, in this scenario, we should move higher without any deeper pullback. And also in this scenario, this subwave structure applies. So ideally, we see a bullish reaction above $34,070 or $34,060. That's really important. We don't want the price to go below that level. We don't want the price to get below $34,060. If we get a sustained break below that level, something more bearish is likely going to play out. And we're going to talk about that alternative as well. Then we've got a scenario in which we are looking at an A, B, C structure. Why that is, we discussed in previous videos at length. And that's a corrective structure. And if this one plays out, by the way, also in this scenario, one more high would be a likely option, and the whole count would look best with just one more high. Therefore, in both counts, white and yellow, the same subwave structure applies and the same support level, which is quite handy. Now, if we see, however, that pattern confirm or complete, then we either are in a situation where we have an ABC structure complete in wave A, or we have a third wave complete. So what we will do then, after one more high, which should take us to 50K plus, I'm going to add the support area for white wave 4. And if that breaks, then we're likely in the yellow count, okay? But we can test the white structure first, so I'm going to focus on that primarily. In the yellow count, after that next high, if we get it, which is currently the assumption, in the yellow count, we should get a deeper pullback, probably a wave B, which will be a corrective pullback, can get sort of into the region between 29 and 19K. Below 19K, the bear market will likely continue, but that would be a deeper pullback within an overall uptrend. However, it would be quite a messy structure. Just be aware of that. These are the two main scenarios. In both scenarios, we're currently working here through a corrective pattern, ABC. How exactly that's taking shape? Well, that will be agreed between the bulls and the bears on a daily basis in the battlefield, you could say, of the markets. So that we have to be quite flexible within a correction. But so far, I don't see anything unusual. So let's go to the shorter time frame wave count. This is this wave 4. Whatever's happening in between, and within these structures, we want to see an A wave, we want to see a B wave, we want to see a C wave. 3 waves. It's possible that the A wave completed. That's at the moment my main thesis. That's a given. The B wave, the B wave is a bit tricky. I mean, it could have topped here, and we're watching for further clarification if the C wave down has started, but Bitcoin doesn't really want to come down. It found support at the support area I shared with you earlier today at 42,148. So we haven't got a sustained break below support. So technically it could still mean that we will go a little higher. But overall, we want to see an ABC structure. That B wave can unfold in various ways. Just be aware of that. Be a bit careful, because B waves are like a chameleon. Yeah, they have chameleon-like abilities. They can, well, shouldn't say they change color, but they change their shape quite frequently. And you see this kind of bouncy castle style directionless movement in this correction, like whipsaw price action, not really trending. I mean, look at this chart. We haven't really moved since Monday last week. Up and down a little bit, but really directionless. So it's not trending. So we have to just let it play out, okay? And basically wait for the first impulse to the upside. However, at the moment, it would still be expected to see the C wave down. I haven't got a clear evidence that the C wave has started. We're just waiting for evidence. Yesterday, Bitcoin, when did it really? Yeah, sort of yesterday, we started that, 2 days ago, we started that move down. Bitcoin made another attempt, but failed. We only got 3 waves down. So then we had a reset of wave B. And maybe we started C now, but it's again not really impulsive down. I'll keep you updated about that anyway. At the moment, it is possible that, we saw the A wave, ABC, we saw the B wave. We're now coming down in wave C. However, if we see a break above, let's just look at that. If we now see a break above the 43,240 level, it seems likely that we are resetting the wave B again higher, which is possible. Yes, we broke support, but not a sustained break. My preference is at the moment that the B wave topped, with that downside pressure, but we have to prepare for, just more roller coaster here. Because so far, even within this correction, I don't see a clear impulse, not even to the downside. We need a small impulse to tell us, okay, the C wave to the downside has begun. Until then, we're just simply tracking the structures to see if there is further evidence. Obviously, to maintain the idea the C wave could have started, today's high needs to stay. Oh no, it was yesterday's. Yesterday's high should not be broken to the upside, because if it does, then we will have a confirmed reset of wave B. How could that play out? Well, simple. Instead of an A, B, C, which could have finished, we have a W, X, Y, and the Y wave is an A, B, C pattern. Very, very much possible, and there are many options that can play out. Please be aware, in corrections, a lot of different structures can play out. There are more than 12, 13 corrective structures, and at every juncture, this will be decided, right? Which is different from an impulse. Our main objective is here to watch for an impulse, not to predict every single structure or wave, because it doesn't work. It's not about that. It's about understanding where does support sit, where does resistance sit, and what's happening here in between is quite dynamic. But ultimately, as long as we are roughly following a 3-wave pattern, it's great. And I would like to see at least the price next to get to around about 39,260, maybe directly, maybe with a bit of a reset of wave B and then down. But at the moment, and that's also very important, I haven't got any evidence to say that this wave 4 is already over. So I expect a little bit more sideways action, or at least that this correction isn't finished yet, so that we see a little bit more corrective action over the coming days, maybe even weeks. That's my update about Bitcoin. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.